I received some information from Apple about how to prepare when making an app to make sure that the privacy practices are in sync with the rules. So basically, what are the things that you have to do to your app? In general, what are the most important things to make sure that it will comply with the privacy rules? And I just thought that I'd share this video with you guys because it's kind of interesting. They give it the name "Do It More with Less," and it has basically the following three pillars. So this is the first one from what looks like the three pillars of privacy for app development, and this requires to delay sign-in as long as possible. Okay, so I actually did this already for my app, so this is fine. But the idea is that if you have app functions that should not require a sign-in, then you should not ask them to sign in. So that's what they're saying here. Another idea that they were saying was that one other way to avoid having to ask for more personal information is to provide a sign-in with Apple option, which I haven't thought of. So this is another great thing that can be done, and then we don't become responsible for safeguarding their personal information, and it also gives the user a decision to whether or not they want to give us their email address. So this is the second item of the three, and this is all about only asking for data that we really need. That makes sense, of course. And like in my case, I really limited what kind of information I asked for, but I mean this makes sense to me. Here they mention a term called data minimization, which is basically the idea that you ask for the absolute minimum of information that you can use to make the app function and to serve the user properly. Now, this is yet another thing actually that I wouldn't have thought of myself. They call these, in this video I believe, they call this purpose strings. So purpose strings are showing next to the warning that they're gonna ask for certain accesses to certain parts of the device. And right underneath it, they say it why. So they call this purpose strings.
Sources on Apple devices. Here are some more examples. Many apps offer an option to select a photo for a profile page, but if this is your app's only use for photos, you don't need to request access to every photo the user has taken. Instead, a better fit for your app's needs is Photo Picker, so users can quickly select the perfect photo for their profile without providing more access than is required.
Yeah, all of this makes sense, and this is actually one of the reasons why it's nice to use Apple devices. So, although this last example wasn't a purpose string, it was an example of data minimization. And there's this third item, be ready with alternatives. So I think the idea here is that if a user turns down your request, like let's say you ask them to add a profile picture and then they say, no, I won't give it to you, then you need to have alternatives so that the app would still function more or less with the same amount of functionality, but without asking for the personal information or without getting the personal information that you asked for. This also makes sense to me because a lot of websites ask for a ton of personal information. They all want a profile picture, even though it's completely unnecessary for their functioning. And again, this is a good policy, I believe, and certainly something I would observe.
It says early in your development process will not only help you avoid delays in review, your users will appreciate the steps you've taken to respect their privacy. We think these privacy best practices will help your app collect less while delivering a satisfying, feature-rich experience.
So another reason why all of this makes sense is because a phone is a little different from a computer. So basically, it's kind of a tool that you have in your hand. You don't necessarily want to constantly access and feed it highly personal information. You kind of want to use it like you use any everyday tool. I think that's another reason why the less of this kind of information you have to enter, the better. Like that's why I like the idea of signing in with Apple or Google, because again they don't have to type. If you're using the phone in everyday life, it's extremely disruptive if you have to stop to type. It's much easier if you can just tap a button and you already get what you want. So this is interesting stuff. You guys can find this video in developerapple.com. I don't know. It's called Doing Less with More. Doing More with Less. That's the name of the video. And this is also what they send out to you when they have suggestions how you can improve your app to comply with these policies better. All right, thanks for listening. That's it for today. You guys have a good day.